When waiting for this film to be released on HBO, I was thinking how bad could this be, or how bad can this film disappoint me, or how this film makes me want to doze off and think about my life choices from kindergarten till now. Well, two of these three questions were answered because yes, it disappointed me, and yes, it did question my life choices, but was this film bad? To a point, but this documentary can either pave the path to other bad documentaries about internet culture or become a cautionary tale on how to explain fads in general. So, what's this film about? Well, it's quite a simple idea, really. It's about.
Oh, no, 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 no. Don't come near me. Don't come near me.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Op. Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style.
oh, oh man, I had this gag idea brewing in my mind, but yeah, it's serious time. It's about two girls who were inspired by a creepypasta story to stab their longtime friend 19 times in order to please this fictional character and live in his mansion. I'm not even fucking around, that's basically the motive. The film follows the family Anissa Wire and Morgan Geyser, the girls who committed the crime, and it also focuses on the trial based on the crime. You don't see Geyser or Wire often due to the fact that they're in prison and the court stated that no photography should be taken, so you get to hear Geyser on the phone or seeing both girls confessing their crimes to the investigators. The family part of this film was a basic follow them in daily life task, doing interviews, or showing home movies of the child at a young age. So yeah, you kinda get the feeling that they're trying to make them look normal and not the criminals that the media would describe them. Both parents were describing how their daughters were reading about Slenderman or looking at pictures of the suave dressed man without a face, and that's when the cringe hit because not only you have the parents describing them, but you also have the girls describing who is this Slenderman, and even going deeper by describing the physical characteristic of Slenderman, which I didn't know nor I didn't care. Hell, the last time I got into anything Slenderman related was playing that game where you had to find all 8 or 9 pages, only in the end to get your ass rammed by a skinny twat and his 30 plus tentacles. Even hentai animators will cream their horizontal pantsuit due to the amount of tentacles this guy possesses. If you think this documentary could get any worse, boy, you're surely mistaken because not only do you get parents and criminals discussing about creepypasta character, but you also have doctors like Richard Dawkins, Jack Sipes, and Abigail Barrett, among others, talking about Slenderman and memes. Just hearing older folks talking about this type of matter can only make a person say, why? Come on, you're better than this. As if it wasn't bad enough, you got the editor and writer of KnowYourMemes.com, Brad Kim, cause memes. But wait, there's more. Not only you get parents and criminals talking about Slenderman, intellectuals talking about memes in Slenderman, some jackoff who can read Wikipedia, but numerous upon numerous video inspired by Slenderman like sightings, fan videos, or even little shits running around with the camera pretending to be chased by this character. So you're saying out loud, come on Cap, tell us what happened throughout the film because you only hammered the idea of the film, but what happens throughout the film? Well, the film is so loose that it makes hooker pussy lips well organized and properly maintained because throughout this documentary, it looks like a fucking blender. Just straight up honestly, it looked like a fucking blender. The points of were so scattered around that it was hard to stay focused because basically here's what happened. You get an interview with the family, then it jumps to a fan film about the internet's boogeyman, then you get some egghead talking about the mind of a developing child, and tying Slenderman to the pipe, or basically comparing and contrasting him. Afterwards, it jumps right into interrogation, then slideshows of the fan arts and video of Slenderman, even more. Then, almost at the end of the film, you get the second half of the interrogation and the court trial mixed together at once. If I was going to direct this film, I would do the following. The first half of this film is to explain who is Slenderman by explaining the origins and the cult following towards the character, that if is there any people who follows him anymore. The second half would open with a 911 call where the caller describes the girl crawling out of the woods bloodied up, then add the family interview, the daily life without the daughter, and home movies. Then ending the film would be the interrogation and the court case and the final hearing. This film was trying to mimic Love Child, but at least Love Child did it like a sandwich method by showing the crime part first, then layering the cause of said crime, which was addiction to video games, talking about the influence of said crime, addiction to video games, interviewing people who are either trying to see if this influence is something serious to people who are under the influence. Oh man. Oh man, that commercial was fucking stupid. So finally wrapping up the documentary with the sentence and aftermath. So basically bread, meat, cheese, lettuce, tomato, and finally bread. With condiments a little bit too much, but won't ruin the sandwich. With Beware Slenderman, it was bread, cheese, meat, lettuce, tomatoes on top of the bread, and condiments being sloshed around the plates. Look, I'm not saying Love Child is a claimed masterpiece, but the director at least knew how to keep the flow of the film somewhat. Compared to Beware Slenderman, it was basically saying LOL random. And sparking some seriousness onto the film. Overall, this film is about two girls who try to please the modern day boogeyman into committing a crime that can land them into jail, and it's kind of ballsy for HBO releasing this documentary at the end of January because the appeal trial is going to start in February of this year. So either it's a strategy to persuade the judges to let the girls go free or get everybody to rally up and support the girls. Either way is up to each individual to draw their own conclusions. Despite watching the film and talking about how this was done wrong, I did find a few perks, and by few I mean two, because the first one was emotion of each parent. Seeing both parents cry in front of a camera due to the fact that their child is at a jailhouse. Sure, if you're in the same situation as them, you still show emotions toward your child, even though they committed a mistake. They're still your kid despite their wrongdoings. The last perk of this film was the interrogation scene. Yes, despite being scattered around throughout the movie, I'm a sucker for anything crime related because it's a few times that the human condition can be shown without any actors or actresses trying to replace those emotions that were originally portrayed. The few things that rubbed me the wrong way was the target audience because I'm not sure whom was this documentary for, either people who grew up with this fad and wanted a flashback on how this phenomenon came to be, or was it for the older audience who used the internet or for Facebook or playing some random game on their phone, or is for the average person who knows how to use the modern day technology but didn't have any interest of this internet culture. Either way, this documentary was a big bag of trail mix, but this trail mix was 8% nuts, 10% chocolate pieces, and 10% fruit. The second negative was the Skype call. Sure, it's something small, but at least edit out the little technical difficulties like, oh, I'm sorry, my internet was bad. Oh, I can't hear you very well. Can you please give me a second? Oh, you interrupted me. That's nice, but I'm in a call right now. Please shoo off somewhere else. It's the small little things, but come on, be a little bit professional around here. The last negative of this documentary that it had too much filler, from fan art and content for Slenderman to fan art of both Wire and Geyser, and sadly that's the only thing that stood out the most on this film. Not the interrogation or the emotional parent, but the fan art of Slenderman and from both girls. So if you want to see a film that involves internet culture, a movie that can't keep a steady line, or at the beginning of the end to something that you like being turned into a masterful art piece, then this documentary is just for you. But would I recommend it? No. No, 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 no. And no, in Spanish, of course, because there are other great documentaries that involves urban legends or something that is internet related, but this one kind of missed the mark. So, no, I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't even tell you to watch it. Hell, I took a bullet for you guys, so you should thank me for that. But until then, we'll meet again. Hey, this is the captain speaking, and looks like we did our 10th video. Well, basically, 10th review. But yeah, 10th review. This is not bad. I thought, I was gonna do 5 and out and gonna get rejected by a bunch of hateful comments, but so far, I mean, the channel's going pretty well. I would like to say thanks, and pretty much once again, thank you very much for watching this video, first of all the way through the end. The second part is just watching any videos in general, because I thought the way that I record or the way that I do these type of reviews are either too short or too long. But I mean, by the looks of the with the video counts, it's not bad. So yeah, I mean, thank you again for supporting, watching a few seconds and then logging out, because like I said, I'm not a very interesting person to hear. But overall, for the few people who are actually sticking by to the end of this video and hearing me, this little speech, I would like to say thank you. Yeah, the 10th video is not something, well, basically the 10th review, it should have been something spectacular or something amazing. But um, no, I just chose a documentary that I thought that was gonna be bad, which it was to an extent, but it was. But yeah, overall, I mean, just thank you very much. Just thank you very much. This is basically off the cuff. This is not everything that is written down because I always write my little scripts in a little notebook, basically bullet points, and then afterwards I write my long paragraphs and all that. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, from the captain and second in command Salami, I like to say thank you. I'm gonna keep on progressing and all that shit. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you.